The mouse of the day for the first ever extended version of Mouse of the Day is Richard Harrington, and he is a very, very smart mouse who crafted up the very first design for an airplane. He also crafted up a few designs such as the cheese bot and the instant cheese slicer. Both of these were discontinued. Well, actually, no, the cheese bot is still around, but the instant slicer and the airplane was discontinued because this is the airplane that Richard Harrington made. Actually, this is the airplane Andy in here. But Richard Harrington's designs were very innovative, and he just designed the first flying craft. So that was amazing that Richard Harrington made this, but it was made out of cheese. The airplane was made out of cheese, and the reason this was such a big problem is because it worked super well. It was like lightweight, and it was just the perfect plane up until you used it for too long. So for a few weeks, they didn't even notice the problem, and they started rolling out these cheese planes. A lot of people got the cheese planes, and this is why it was really dangerous. Airplane Andy found out the hard way that when these planes get up to really, really high temperatures, they actually will melt. But Richard Harrington had really good intentions. Like, he made a really good design, and honestly, this was like a small thing. I don't think anyone else would have known. So I still thank Richard Harrington for making this, even though his designs were made out of cheese and they ended up melting and hurting Airplane Andy. It's still a really cool design, and I thank him for making this. But let me tell you a little bit more about some of his other designs, because you guys know about the plane. Richard Harrington also designed the cheese bot and the instant cheese slicer. So basically, the instant cheese slicer was a device which he crafted up, and basically you just put your cheese block in there and it instantly, there's like a bunch of different knives, or not knives, but a bunch of different blades. So imagine just like a little holder at the bottom, and then there's a rod that you can grab onto at the top to squish it down, and there's a bunch of different blades coming off of the rod. So you just squish it like that on top of the cheese block, and it will slice it instantly into a little bag of shredded cheddar, because there's like underneath the bottom, there's a bag which will catch it. So you can really, really efficiently slice your cheese with his instant cheese shredder. The problem is, it was so effective that if you got anywhere near it, like if you got your fingers caught in there, or if you accidentally touched the blades, they were just too sharp. So slicing cheese takes a little bit more time nowadays. It was really, really efficient when Richard Harrington crafted this up, but the blades were pretty dangerous, so they had to discontinue it. Also, the cheese bot is still pretty effective to this day. A lot of people are using cheese bots, and Nifty Nora's actually crafting up a really, really good cheese bot, which is even better. But he created sort of like, I don't want to say the prototype, but he created the first version, and it was really, really good. Nifty Nora's improving on it for sure, but basically what the cheese bot does is it just zooms around and picks up all the cheese crumbs. So if you're a mouse like me, you probably like to eat a lot of cheese, and from time to time a crumbly cheese, and there will be just little pieces of cheese that fall maybe in between your couch cushions, like back there on the mouse couch. It might fall in the cushions or just on the rugs or something. And especially if I'm inviting guests over, I do not want any cheese crumbs like laying on the mouse couch. They're probably going to see the mouse couch and think, wow, that's really cool, that's pretty innovative, let me have a close look around, and they might even be looking at the details. So I want to make sure it's just super, super clean, not even a speck of cheese left. So the cheese bot that Richard Harrington invented really comes in handy for that. I actually have a Nifty Nora cheese bot, so it's a little bit more high quality. But Richard Harrington basically crafted this up out of just old cheese parts and basically old little gears from Tinkering Timmy, because Tinkering Timmy tinkers so often that he just has lots of parts left over. So whenever he's done tinkering with something, he doesn't need the parts anymore. He gave him the Richard Harrington, actually. Do you mess with Richard Harrington?